chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
This season marks a new beginning. New heights will be reached. New records will be broken. A new champion will be crowned. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
From the sun and fun down under to the golden cornfields of Iowa, the rolling road course of Phillip Island gives way to perhaps the most exciting short oval on this season's calendar. Brought to you thanks to the longtime sponsor of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, the good folks at First Medical Equipment from Iowa Speedway. It's round 18 of the Season 6 Championship. It is the Iowa 200 presented by Berkey Trucking. And you can see all the action from green flag to victory donuts live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing channel via the iRacing Esports Network. Beneath a star-festooned Hawkeye sky, to everyone watching on IESN, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Countdown to Green presented by the Sim Pit. As cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate round 18 to 24 on the Lionheart IndyCar Season 6 schedule. And it all follows immediately as we count down to green for the Iowa 200 presented by Berkey Trucking. Hello, I'm Bill Soupson, sharing the microphones with former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn. Amjad Yaman has director duties, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Now, Iowa is the honorary home base to this series, for many members meeting here for real-world events. Richie, tell us a little bit about Iowa Speedway.
And folks, before I talk about the track, let me remind you that everything during the Countdown to Green comes courtesy of its sponsor, the Sim Pit. Sim Pit's an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer, with instructional video and the how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And speaking of virtual tracks, let's talk about today's venue. And here we are at Iowa Motor Speedway. It's a 7/8 mile paved oval track in Newton, Iowa, about 30 miles east of Des Moines, and was opened in September 2006. This track was designed with the influence from Rusty Wallace and patterned after Richmond International Raceway in a semi-D shape. The action is fast and furious here with lap times in the mid 16-second bracket, so look for a lot of two-wide racing action all night. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is really like, let's jump on board the GSRC IR18 and take a lap.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Iowa Speedway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. Without further ado, here we go. Hot lap time, you're going to be down at the bottom of the track, finding that yellow line with the front tires. Watch the bump right there. Swinging it back out towards the fence. Turn 3 and 4, you're going to be wanting to dive it down to the bottom and try and find that nice rotation point. Kind of drift up a little too early, that wall will be waiting for you. Now, Iowa has the benefit of being able to move all over the place. So in the quest for air, you're going to see guys all over the place here in 1 and 2, probably up in that second, third seam, getting out there by the fence. Turns 3 and 4 are going to be very similar. You're going to see guys right up to that fence, dusting it off lap after lap after lap, coming off of turn 4, down the front stretch and across the line. And that's going to complete our very brief guide here around the Iowa Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
It does not take long to circumvent the Iowa Raceway. My goodness, how about lap times at just over 16 seconds? I'm going to take a little longer as I take a lap through the Points Championship. We'll start with the Drivers' Championship. Of course, this is presented by the good folks at First Medical Equipment. There it is. Adam Blocker continues to hold that lead over Andrew Kinsella. It's now up to 31 points. You can see the movement going on from all the drivers. Nobody really up or down much as we get to the end of the season. Keep in mind that these points do take into account the 3 drop races that the rules allow for. So basically, with 17 races in the book, it's the best 14 of 17. The big mover was maybe Stefan Larkamp. Again, Richie will talk a little bit more about that as he had more success on a road course. The guy who had the most trouble, the big Joe Show. Joe Hazard drops 3 spots down into 9th. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the team championship, where the top 4 teams all hold station, but hang on, Dragonfly Racing continues to move as they pick up another spot as Loud Pedal now falls. Those guys have been bouncing all around in spots 5, 6, and 7th there. Dragonfly, Loud Pedal, and 8-Ball Motorsport. Skidmark Racing is in the hunt there as well, down in 8th. All right, that takes care of the team championship. Let's go ahead to Richie. Talk about this always changing rookie leaders.
Yeah, here we are for the Rookie of the Year standings, and they are presented by Butt Kicker. And as you can see, that battle is all about the first and second place, with Stephen Larkamp jumping over Justin Weaver after a good run last time at Phillip Island. But there's just 1 point between these. Big gap. Samuel Ryman's doing a good job in third position. Big gap to him, though. So really the big focus is going to be on that first and second battle, as they've been going back and forth. Weaver being good on the ovals, Larkamp really struggling, but on the other side, Weaver had a bad run in Phillip Islands, and Larkamp had a good one. So we're in for a good finish to this season with these guys.
It's almost like a tennis match with both drivers holding serve. Larkamp on the road courses and Weaver on the ovals. Okay, that takes care of that. Now, remember, you're watching the Lionheart IndyCar Series. It is considered to be the premier fixed setup series for the Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service, and it honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. Now, okay, viewers, pay attention, because once again, it's time for Professor Lugnut's Setup Corner. Earlier this season, we talked about camber, which is the inward and outward lean of the tire. There is, however, another way to change how the tire relates to the rest of the car, and that's something called caster. Professor?
Yeah, caster is the measure of how far forward or behind the steering axis is to the vertical axis, viewed from the side. The best way to think about caster is to visualize a motorcycle. First, draw a vertical line from the middle of the wheels straight up. This is the pivot point of the wheels. Now draw a line from the middle of the wheels directly to the forks of the bike. The angle between those two lines is the caster angle. Motorcycles and most every modern vehicle uses positive caster. The more positive caster, the more the car wants to keep on doing the thing it's doing. If it's going straight, it'll want to keep going straight. If it is turning, it'll want to make the car want to continue to rotate. The trade-off is that it requires more effort to change what the car is doing, change from straight line to cornering and back. This means a heavier steering feel. In your family car with power steering, this isn't too big of an issue. However, in Indy cars without power steering, a small caster change can make a big difference. In general, you want to run as high caster as possible as you can get away with, while recognizing the driver's arms need to last him the whole race. On ovals, casters add an even further element by using asymmetrical caster. By having more positive caster on the right side of the car, it'll make the car pull to the left. This makes the car more stable from turn into mid-corner, but less stable getting off the corner or in a straight line.
Yikes, caster was tough for me to get my head around. That was a tough one for me. I was trying to visualize the motorcycle. I'm going to go ahead and replay this one and get a better idea. I need to understand caster. But, for viewers, if you're like me and you need something a little simpler to get your mind around, well, how about Rishi as he talks about the series details?
Yep, and these series details come to us thanks to the Sim Pit. Here we are at Season 6, round 18 to 24. We're running the Dallara IR18, of course. These setups are always adjusted, but they are fixed. And they're always working on a cash and prizes totaling of a $6,402 payout.
And there we go. We got that all out of the way. Practice is done. That was perfect timing because it's just about time for the drivers to get out there and put in that qualifying lap. All right, let's talk about qualifying. Richie, I got to think on this short oval, you don't want to be too far back if you're looking for a win.
No, you're going to want to be in the top third of the field for sure, not only to try to stay out of the way of the wrecks, but with only 16 and a half seconds, leaders are coming around very quickly. So with the size of the field we have, we're probably going to start seeing lap traffic happen in about, I'm going to say 15 laps. I mean, it's not going to take long because those guys in the back are going to be backed up with the lap time. So this is going to be really important, especially with our championship battles going on.
So how do you pass here? Is there a toe? It's so fast around. There can't be much of a toe. Do you dive it in deep? What do you have to do to get around somebody?
Well, you got to do a little bit of both. I mean, the toe is there, but it's really about that mechanical grip. I think at the beginning, you're going to be able to dive down on the inside of these guys. The corners, especially into turn one, it opens up on the entry, but tightens up on the exit. And it's the opposite on turns 3 and 4. So, I think if you can get your car to work up on the high line, especially longer into the run, you'll be able to carry that momentum because as you get down lower, you're pinching that car off, and it really makes it struggle to get off the corner.
What's your guess? Is tire wear going to be an issue? Will the car slow down as the stint goes on?
I think so. I think if you're running that low line, you're really putting a lot of load in those tires, and so I think we'll see tire wear. And maybe I want to see somebody who maybe takes it a little easier at the beginning of the run and then start making his way forward longer in the run. So hopefully we see some green flag pit stops, but it is going to be busy. There's going to be no resting for any of these people.
Right on board with Chris Stouffer, we can report that Dan Guerin sits at the top. George Ansaldo in second position, but it's early days yet. Brandon Limp come in and well. One of the beautiful things about this series, it's road and oval. You get a different mix of drivers at the top.
Just like the real world IndyCar series, you got to be good at all of it. Super speedways, road courses, short ovals, medium ovals. So Dan Guerin sitting at the top at the moment with a 16.618. He's had a good run here lately. He's moved up a spot to third in the position on the standings. So we'll see if he can keep that good luck going.
There's Michael Goodman. Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee looking to put in a qualifying time.
And Adam Blocker's out there trying to put in his laps. Didn't do so well. Not how he normally qualifies. He's only sitting 12th right now, so he's usually right up in the top 3. So that's going to be a tough. Yeah, he crashed out on his third lap. So these guys are really pushing hard for these, try to get these positions, as it's going to be important. It also, what a lot of people don't realize too is how you qualify determines where your pit box is. So having that first pit box allows you to get out of the box straight instead of having to go around somebody.
Holy smokes, is this right? Connor Harrington, here's the newcomer, jumps to the top of the charts. Oh, I like it when somebody comes in and shakes stuff up.
I was hoping we'd see Sage Karam race tonight. He did a great job at the last race at Phillip Island.
It really was interesting to watch how he got better as the race went on. One of the things I think we need to talk about and mention is the size of the field. A lot of cars. I counted 36 names on the entry list. Woo, that's a lot of cars to go around a lap of only 16 seconds.
Yeah, that is a lot of cars. So, the leaders are going to be basically halfway down the back stretches. The guys in the back are just going to be getting into turn 1.
Looking at Brian Yozik and his familiar HPP special. Blue and silver car.
And another surprise, Andrew Kinsella struggling a little bit in qualifying, or second place in the standings. He's behind Adam Blocker in 17th at the moment. So should be a pretty exciting race here. We got a lot of good drivers right in the middle of the field. Stephen Larkamp in 14th. Justin Weaver, he's been really good on the ovals, but he's only in 16th at the moment.
But there they are, right in the middle of the field. It's fun to watch that rookie battle. That's a good one. Samuel Ryman. They're racing car number 63. Sitting well at the back.
Yeah, I think he's just done his first lap. Here comes his second lap here. We'll see where that puts him.
Oh, that's better.
Up to 24th. Yeah, it's a little better for him. He's been steadily getting better each weekend. He's had some bad luck, too, as he's got caught up in some wrecks.
Okay, it's just about time to go racing. Qualifying done. And when it is time to go racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com, and they are giving away a piece of hardware that is really something special. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's go to the HPP starting grid. On the front row, well, it is the newcomer, Connor Harrington. Let's find out what he can do. Dan Guerin's going to flank him, Richie.
Yeah, and row 2 is going to be Michael Goodman. Right next to him is George Anzaldo. Good run for him.
Row 3 has Brandon Limkeman, sided by Brian Beard.
Row 4 is going to be Tony Schoen and Dustin Wardlow.
9th and 10th go to Ron Hacker and Bob the Meatman Michaels.
Next row behind them will be Pierre Daigle and James Krahula.
Big Joe Haas are going to try to stop the bleeding. He's not in really the lucky position to do it as he goes 13th. Our top rookie, Stephen Larkamp, is outside of him.
Right behind him in the next row is going to be our points leader, Adam Blocker. And next to him is our second place in the rookie standings, Justin Weaver.
Andrew Havakech Kinsella, second in the points, 17th on the grid. Inside of Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee.
Row 10 is going to be Jack Bogan and Tyler Groff.
Hitting blackjack is Brian Yozik in the double duck spot, Chris Stouffer.
Right behind them will be Chris Lanini and Samuel Ryman.
Quarter century mark belongs to Scott Bolstrom with Mitchell Moeller in 26th.
Row 14 will be Peter Edwins and Dylan McKenna.
29th and 30th go to Scott Johnson and Robert Bluen.
Coming up to 31st spot, it's going to be Matthew Mercer and Bart Workman right next to him in 32nd.
In the 33rd position, it's Isaiah Cousin Dupree. Then the final 3 drivers do not have qualifying times. Mark Cohn, Ed Tutwiler, and he is out there, and I don't see Chris Walker. So it looks like we have 35 drivers on the grid. But 3 of those drivers actually are carrying onboard cameras. And we're going to start by looking at Chris Stouffer in the Butt Kicker onboard camera. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order. How about Joe Hassard in the HPP onboard camera machine? HPP is awarding a Formula Racing wheel valued at just under $1,500 to the season champion. HPP, designed to go fast, built to last. And Dan Guerin racing in the Berkey Trucking onboard camera. If you need someone to haul a load, Berkey Trucking's the best on the road. There you go. I don't think Will Vincent is singing jingles over there on Race Spot. All right, let's go ahead. And that does it. If we got everything out of the way, we do. Luckily, since this is under a mile, we have 2 pace laps.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild start, I believe. So it's going to be see if these guys can take it a little bit careful. But I'm going to expect a lot of passing going on, especially from our points leaders, Blocker and Kinsella. We are running 229 laps tonight, so it's a long race. So there's time to kind of take it easy. It really is about just trying to stay clean and not have to take a tow anytime.
We'll bring up your race analysis in a minute once things settle down. We are going... what is it? I think it's 229 laps off the top of my head. We'll get more when we actually look at the graphic. Lots of pit stops tonight, but right now it's all about who's going to lead them down into the first corner. What do we know about Connor Harrington? Well, we know he's pretty good when it goes green. The youngster, the newcomer, leads the field down into the first corner. Guerin is behind him. Goodman and Zaldo and Limkeman round out your top 5.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's taking it easy. Oh, we got a spin. It looks like Andrew Kinsella spinning out on the low side, bringing out a caution early on. I'm not sure if that was him. It does look like him.
It started with Scott Bolster got loose right in front of Peter Edwins. Edwins goes up in the wall. Dylan McKenna is in it. I didn't see Kinsella get part of this one. Perhaps he did.
I just saw him get down on the apron there and kind of do a half spin, so I didn't see the other contact. He didn't hit anybody.
Well, look at that. I think it was separate incidents, maybe.
Yeah, I think Kinsella was trying to get out of the way, but yeah, there's big contact on the outside wall.
All right, we're going to look at Bolster from above. He got loose, and then he gets into it, and then he collects a few more cars. No fast repairs here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. This is big boy racing. Now we'll go ahead and look at the guy running in second. There's what Richie saw.
Yeah, he just kind of did it on his own. Just touched the yellow line on the bottom and just kind of spun that car around. He didn't hit anything, but now he's going to be at the back of the field.
That looked like the same thing that might have happened to Bolster, although he got lucky. Kinsella spun off to the inside. Bolster spin up, got into Peter Edwins. Edwins got part of that mess as well. And then also involved in it, Dylan McKenna. So 3 drivers I think are going to have a hard time coming back. I think Kinsella is going to be okay to continue, but he'll be at the back of the grid. Cold tires? Got to be cold tires, huh?
Cold tires, and just running low. I mean, that transition between the banking and the flat part is that yellow line, but you're trying to hug it so tight. Sometimes it just grabs the tire, and that goes into your caster there too. It kind of grabs that front tire and pulls it around. And fortunately, he didn't hit anything, but the other 2 weren't so lucky.
Well, that'll give us a quick check to look at our race analysis right now, because I typed something in hieroglyphics into our format here. Didn't have my hands on home row. There's our race analysis. We have 229 laps. Hey, I got that memory right. Now check this out. They're saying a stint is 52 laps. I see that as 4 stops. So you go 52 stop. You stop at 52, 104. 156, and then again, it's a 4-stopper. There's our incidents as well.
Yeah, it's a 4-stopper if we go green. So I'm expecting to see a lot of yellows early in the race as the thing starts to sort out. We have a lot of cars, and then we'll kind of see an idea of where these guys are on their tire wear as they get a little farther into this run, but I can't see them going the full 52 laps.
Well, I'm telling you right now, if you're not one of the two-dimensional fans here in Iowa coming to this race, you should take your sweetheart, take her to a romantic, lay down a blanket there and lay your flat self down and look up at the stars. Let's look at the weather, because it is a beautiful, clear night here in Iowa. Not a cloud in the sky. You can see the Big Dipper in Cassiopeia. 76 is the air temperature. That's perfect. The track temperature, well, obviously with no sun, moonlight doesn't have a heck of a lot of heating capacity, so the track's the same temperature as well. A little bit humidity. Not an ounce of fog.
Yeah, I know. Good night. That big concern is that 76 degrees. That's pretty low. So here we are coming for the green. Everybody's up high, single file.
Boy, they are up as high as they can get near the wall. Connor Harrington, don't know much about him, but I think he's going to be somebody we're going to get to know all the way through the end of this season and into season number 7. Well, he's the leader right now. Guerin, Goodman, and Zaldo and Limpkeman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We talked about the front half of the top 10. Let's talk about the back half. Beard is under attack from Tony Schowen. Schowen went down low. He's going to lose all of his momentum. We got a caution, and it's Brian Yazik. Oh, Jack Bogan. Did he drift up into him? Did Brian Yazik and that HPP machine come down on him? You be the judge.
Looks like the lower car drifted up into the higher car there, and I think I said it's going to take a while, I think, to filter some of this out. We got a lot of cars out here. This is just expected at the moment, I think.
As we look from above, there were 3 cars together. Ooh, yeah, it's... And just to rub salt in the wound, I think Bogan's car is just fine.
Yeah, here we are on Brian Yazik, and the car down below, it looks like maybe it gets just a little bit of aero wash right there, and just Brian Yazik just is an innocent bystander, so I'm sure he's not too happy with that.
Jack out there with a beautiful paint scheme that says, "Love you, Babel." I'm not sure if Babel is a person or a place or a thing, for that matter. Jack going to be racing in currently in 20th position after that contact. So, has anybody come in for a stop? Anybody going to come in and maybe kind of top off a little bit?
If I was running in the back, I would be coming in every yellow flag, you know, and just kind of play it out, because, you know, eventually the way these races have been, we got some yellows, but it does sort itself out eventually. They kind of settle down, the field thins out a little bit. So, you know, if I was in the, 27th to back, I'd probably just pit and just pit and just pit until it kind of went green.
Well, you and Samuel Ryman are on the same page, as he did indeed come in. He was the only driver who came in on this most recent stop.
Yeah, I mean, we're not paying for tires or fuel, so you might as well take as many as you can get.
Drivers who pitted on the first yellow flag was Scott Bolser, Chris Lanini, Robert Bluen, and Isaiah Cousin Dupree. They are all back 26th and farther back. Drivers who are out, well, Brian Yazik, and then the 3 guys who were in that very first incident, Peter Edwins, Dylan McKenna, and actually Chris Walker didn't start, so one of those guys are still out there racing.
Yeah, Peter Edwins and Brian Yazik have heavy damage, so they're out of the cars. Dylan McKenna has disconnected, so he's gone to the showers. So we have, looks like we have 32 cars at the moment.
Brian Yazik, if you're listening, I know you've done a lot of GSRC commentator work. If you want to come in, and if you don't have anything to do for the rest of your evening, you want to come in and sit with a little bit. You're not in your car. What are you doing? Come on into the booth. All right, we are working lap number 10. The lights are off the pace car. The lights are not off the pace car. Holy moly. Sorry, honey. Keep dinner in the oven a little while longer. We might be here a while tonight.
Yeah, well, this being a short track, at least the pace laps are fairly short. So we'll get back to green. I kind of expected this with this many cars, like I said. So they'll sort it out, and we'll get back to racing here fairly shortly.
Now the lights are off. I'm seeing the pace car. There we go. I was looking for Connor Harrington. He wasn't actually showing up. Strangely enough, my timing and scoring shows Connor Harrington in the pace car, so can't quite figure that one out. Now it's figured it out. That was interesting. I was a little confused there for a minute. Of course, our pace car driver, as always, Medina Mendez out of Long Beach, California. Doing a good job. Connor Harrington, Dan Guerin, Michael Goodman, George Anzaldo, and Brandon Lemkeman, your top 5. Medina's opened it up a little bit on the race leader, Harrington. She takes the car in. I don't know if I said it before. Let's say it now. Gather at the chickens, take company on the cows. The horses are out of the barn. Connor Harrington leads Dan Guerin, Michael Goodman, Anzaldo, and Lemkeman. The real battle has been in the back half of the top 10. Beard, Showen, going underneath Showen, picking up a spot in the 7th position. The Candyman, Dustin Wardlow.
Yeah, they're racing hard. I was just going to say, they're racing pretty hard here, going too wide between Tony Showen and Pierre Daigle all the way around the track. Tony Showen getting the better of him at the moment, but starting to kind of sort it out a little bit. Tony Showen looking on a move on car in front of him. Sorry, my thing switched to the pace car.
Yeah, that happened. What you got is Bob Mikas down below in that familiar Von Hansen's meat machine. He is inside of Pierre Knighton-Daigle. Daigle in the fluorescent colored car. Let's go to a pass for the lead. Things have happened, and it's Dandy Dan Guerin up in front. We'll take a look at the replay.
Yeah, Dandy Dan going to making a power move. As we're watching this replay, Connor Harrington, caution's out. At that time, Connor was going for a pass. But you watch the replay with Dan getting in front of him.
Scott Bolster got loose in front of Mark Cohn. And Bolster spins around. Luckily, he does not come back out as he kind of goes into the Velcro wall there.
We are on board Mark Cohn. And just innocent bystander once again, down on the low side. I still think, with these cold track temps, that these guys are trying to push a little too hard on the bottom lane and, just kind of losing the rear end.
Guerin.
There he goes. Yep. Right. There he goes. Right around. Yep.
Guerin got underneath Harrington to take the lead. We went to the replay, and Harrington did not waste any time. Connor came right back on him. Connor kind of play around now.
I thought he was going to go into the pits. I was about to call it, but nope. Dan Guerin's saying, yeah, you do whatever you want. I'm going to hang out right in the lead where it's safe.
All right, you fans of the Lionheart IndyCar series, if you want to pick somebody who's going to take a strange pit strategy, who's it going to be? Well, you know who it's going to be. It's James Krahula. Sure enough, he pits from, I think, about 15th position. It's going to be well down the order, but he's not the only one coming in. A lot of guys are coming in as well.
Yeah, well, we're a little bit into this run, and like I said, it's going to sort itself out. So some of this has paid out for him in the past, and he always does take this risk. So we'll kind of keep an eye on him in that pink number 4 car.
If you're good at math, start multiplying 52 and see if 52 add in an 18 and see how long it takes you to get to 129. I can't do it. What I can do is talk about one of our sponsors, and that is it's one of my favorite sponsors. It is Butt Kicker. Now, let's see how to do this right. Gutammer. Guitammer. Gutammer Company. Not sure how you pronounce that one. Is the maker of marine mammal safe low frequency products better known as Butt Kicker. If you are like me and enjoy the thrill of being haptically immersed, if you find that a subwoofer that just moves air doesn't do it for you because it loses accuracy and force, and only the powerful and accurate actual movement of mass provides that active immersion that you require to get that missing driver-to-car connection, then Butt Kicker products are the only way to go. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order. Find out more by visiting them on Facebook at facebook.com/MidwestSim. And you know what? Sometimes you wish for it and you get it. I believe that Brian Yosik may come in and sit in here with us a little bit.
Yeah, I figured, I found the shortcut there between the booth and pit road, so I just come up here and see what you guys got going on.
Short night for you. Thanks for stopping in. Stay as long as you can. Cold tires, is that what's going on out there? Or is this just I don't know, what's going on?
Really what it boils down to, Soup, is it's cold tires, and as guys are trying to get up through the gears, turn one, if you've never driven the Iowa Speedway, turn one has a very nasty bump down there in the center of that turn. And when you hit it at lower speeds, colder tires, aero push, stuff like that, that's where you kind of see a lot of these things happening. Scott Bolster right there, the last go around when he spun out, he was kind of all on his own and he just hits that bump wrong. And it's such a catch-22 because you hit that bump right and it actually helps plant the right rear and kind of lets you jettison out of the corner. But then you hit it wrong and you see what happened to Scott there.
Richie, when you were doing your real-world racing, were there ever a race coming into it where you looked at the sky and the temperature and said, oh, man, I don't want to be part of this one?
Oh, plenty times. I mean, we race lots of tracks, so that is cold, no tire warmers. So coming out of the pits was so tricky. Once we got up to speed, you just had to feel it out. I've never raced here, so but I know that bump exists, and it is tricky. But like when we raced at Milwaukee is like that. It's very bumpy in turns 1 and 2, and you got to hit those bumps just right to be fast, and you hit them just wrong, and you're in the fence.
You ever race the big cars in the rain?
The Indy cars in the rain? Oh,
yeah,
many times. And I always did very well in the rain, and I liked it. It's just a matter of just having a sensitive feel for it. But we're getting ready for green here.
No rain tonight, as it's a beautiful clear sky, as we talked about. Medina Mendez pulls the pace car in. Dan Guerin sees the green flag. He's going to read him across the line, working lap 22. Harrington, Goodman, Anzaldo, and Limkeman. Brian Yosik, who is this Connor Harrington?
Connor is kind of a new name to the series this year, but has been around quite a bit in previous years, from my understanding. Maybe predated me just a little bit, but 2 races, 2 poles, and you kind of see that sort of speed as he goes to make the move, the dive under Dan Guerin, down the backstretch, down into turn 3. This is where it's going to be really tough to make it stick. Oh, that yellow line, tempting.
Yeah, you can see him blocking on the inside and then going back up. So he doesn't want to give up that position back to Dan as he's starting to stack up the field behind him. Oof. Yeah, he's making himself in a little trouble if he weaves too much, but he's basically slowing himself down, and Dan's going to take that high side. And I think the high side eventually is going to be the way to go as these tires start to wear off.
You're 100% right there, Richie. I kind of suffered from this at Homestead at the back part at the very first race of the year. I was so intent on blocking the bottom that it actually cost me, because you really take that shorter route, but you're really heating up that right front tire, and the top is just able to roll at some point. You kind of see it right there. He goes off into the turn, it pushes up, and then he has to cut the wheel very hard back down. So eventually you're going to see Danny just building that momentum just a little bit, getting to the outside. Eventually, it would not surprise me to see Dan overtake him on the top.
Brian, are tires going to be the determining factor when you take a stop on a green flag run, or is it going to be fuel?
Well, on a green flag run, I guess that's what I get for being preemptive. The racer in me got to finish first. If you run this thing out about 50, I couldn't remember what sim racing app told me.
52.
Yeah, about 52 sounds right. But yeah, when it's under green, you're going to run it out because it's technically a 3-stopper. I think now the cautions have messed that up. But, there you see just that swarm that you're looking at there on board of Big Joe there. But, yeah, under caution, if you get a caution after about 20 laps, it wouldn't surprise me to see everybody pit, in all honesty, because tire wear is big at Iowa.
We're seeing a lot of two-wide action going on behind these three, with Connor Harrington still holding that bottom line. I think Dan's just kind of taking it easy. He's going to make that move. He's starting to pull up farther and farther alongside him, but back behind them, these guys are racing pretty hard for that basically fourth position. Here comes Dan sneaking on the inside, kind of duped him a little bit. Can't quite hold it at the bottom and has to let go of that position.
Yeah, once the leader started to settle down, they got back into a single file run, and you can see that the guys up front can start to pull away. Harrington, and that Anzaldo racing up there, having a good run today with those guys.
Yeah, it's great to see George up there. He's had some bad luck this year, so running a clean race in third position. He's got Brandon Limpkerman. Sorry, Brandon. Right behind him. Limpkerman. There you go.
I got you, buddy.
I've been enjoying it for many races.
Yeah, you haven't helped me out, but here he goes. He's going to pass George on the inside. And, I thought he had it, but there you go. You see that outside lane, how that works there, Brian.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. When you get up there, it's not necessarily that you're faster than the guy on the bottom, because technically, shortest way around, you carry the momentum, but the way that you have to make the pass at Iowa is you really have to let that car swoop all the way out to the wall, and when you're on the top, so you see right there, that's that back there, Goodman and Edmonds, I think, or Showen? Goodman and Showen. You can see Showen is able to ride that top up in that top groove. He can keep that momentum going, and Goodman on the bottom can't get all the way up to the wall the way that he wants to, so that's where you're seeing that choke up. And now you're seeing Goodman, he's falling back into the clutches of, Pierre and Adam Blocker back there, so you got to get up to the top, and I think he finally found an opening right there.
Yeah, it almost looks like if you want to make that pass on the inside, it's almost got to be a slide job. You got to almost complete the whole pass and then pull up in front of them to stop the momentum.
Slide jobs work when you clear them, not the, kind of clear-ish.
Ooh, big move, big slide by Tony Schoen, and he kind of blends up into the track in the middle of 3 and 4. We got someone, we got a lot of, yeah, he kind of brushed the wall there, but keeps on going.
Oh, he's in the wall again. Now he's really struggling. That is Brian Beard, and he's on 2 wheels now. Oh, coming at you.
Yep. In your face. There's the caution.
Glad he came down on all 4 wheels, or we might have taken out our camera that was mounted on the wall there.
You see how Tony just came up and kind of squeezed those two, a little contact, and obviously he did more damage than I thought, and thing probably wasn't steering very straight. Yeah. Oh, he got bumped again by Bob. That was, okay, that was before. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yep, sorry. That was before, and then he got basically tapped twice up in the wall, and I think we're going to see, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the whole field come in as we're quite a few laps into this fuel run.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not the whole field. Maybe some of these guys that have only been out there for about, I don't know, what's there, that's 19 laps for Ryman. Does he want to stay out and gamble? We'll see. I don't know if Sam really wants to be up front.
You never know. A position of power. Sometimes, it makes people.
Somebody actually stopped. It looked like it was Bob Mikas. I must have maybe got in too fast and I had to hit the brakes so he didn't get a speed.
Oh, that's
the car just stopped.
That's got a couple cars wound up in there. A couple guys are going to jump out to the track to avoid that. Big Joe just kind of stuck. He's trying to roll backwards so he can let Dustin get by. Oh, it was the wounded car came in and Bobby jumped on the brakes in order to try to give him room, but I don't think anybody behind him got the memo.
Oh yeah, big stack up there, and it just really stacked up the whole pit lane. You will see a couple people take that evasive move and go back around one more time. Here we go, boom, and that's unfortunate for Big Joe because he was running strong in the top 10.
Daigle got into the back of Mikas, and then Hassard really got the worst of it. Showen got hung up as well. And then once they finally get it sorted out, Okay, that's going to give us an opportunity to take a break here on the iRacing Esports Network and Global Sim Racing Channel. Don't go far.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Let's use the call letter, shall we, so we can get to the actual sponsor plug ASAP. Streaming your way on IESN is the GSRC covering the LIS, the Iowa 200, presented by Berkey Trucking. Round 18 to 24 on the Season 6 schedule. We're currently under yellow as we are working lap number 44. Sim Sports News is the leading news website dedicated to followers of sim racing, providing up-to-date commentary and race reviews for an ever-expanding list of championships and riders. For more information and to read all of their latest articles, go to iRacing, the Lionheart Racing, visit simsportsnews.com. All right, we are under green. And, well, boys and girls, guess who's out in front? It's James Grahula.
Yeah, he decided to stay out. So, yeah, you called it there. He's doing a good job. Clean track, so no worries about anything happening in front of him for the moment. We got Connor Harrington and Dan Guerin right behind him. But James doing a good job moving all the way up from 12th to 1st on those pit stops.
There's ever a man to jump out and march to the beat of his own drum is James Grahula. So there you see him up front, but those old tires are going to come and be a hindrance, because here comes Connor Harrington down to the inside. Mind that bump down there, but Connor should clear him way before the corner. It looks like Dan's going to go, but Dan's going to try and go for a 2-for-1 down to the inside in turn 3. Dan Guerin going for the lead.
Wow, some great racing putting on here at Iowa. Boy, and Harrington goes to the outside now. Yeah,
Dan Guerin blocked him just like Connor was doing to him. So he's here comes Connor's going back and forth. He doesn't know which way to go. But Dan Guerin's holding tough right down the middle of the track. I think Connor's going to try to sneak it in on the inside and going into turn 1. And it looks like he's going to get that pass done.
The thing that I'm seeing Connor doing, and you've got to be careful of, especially in this series, you see George trying to get the spot from Brandon back there. He's doing that quick crossover. And if you got to be 100% sure that you're not clipping the rear gearbox to the guy in front of you, because then that's just not good there.
Yeah, I saw that too. But George trying to pass Brandon lost some momentum, so Chris Stouffer's going to try to go around of George Ansaldo and try to hold that outside line. George kind of squeezing him up there as they going to turn one. You can see him go over that bump, and that just kills George's momentum and puts Christopher up in the 4th position, all the way from 22nd.
Our Charger right there. Side by side, did you see the kind of the fall of Krahula? He's hanging on to the 8th spot, but it's going to be a tough row to hoe because he's got Andrew Kinsella down on the inside. Brian Greenlee up there right behind him, kind of stuck. Greenlee can't really go anywhere. Here we go. Is he going to try and push it 3 wide through the middle? No, he's going to be a little smarter. Oh, he's just stuck. Like, there's just not much he can do. There you go. Get to the bottom.
He's this big beehive going right behind Andrew Kinsella there. I was wondering what happened to Adam Blocker, because he's all the way down to 19th, so he must have got caught up in that pit lane accident.
I think he stopped. Is there 3 wide? Who is that in the middle of that 3 wide sandwich? Is that Pierre back there?
Yeah, Pierre's tried to bounce back after the pit road incident that cost him several spots. You know, you're talking about Greenlee getting up on the back of Krahula. I think reputation plays a factor sometimes. Greenlee probably thinking, well, James is a pretty fast driver. I'm not going to have to worry about him checking up, but didn't realize that James is really off the pace.
A lot of these drivers, due to the third-party apps that are out there now, a lot of these guys have pretty good telemetry, same as kind of what we have up here in the broadcast booth, from that standpoint. So, a lot of these guys know what's going on, and they know what kind of strategy people are on. So, it's, I think Greenlee was just kind of stuck there.
Yeah, right now, James Krahula is really suffering. It's been 39 laps since his last pit stop. You can see how those tires play a part, because he's all the way, he went from 1st to 16th, and he's just hoping for another yellow pretty soon.
He either needs a yellow soon, or he needs us to go green for a long time, so everyone else has to come in and make a green flag stop as well. And honestly, Brian, the nature of this series, they get a little messy early. They tend to run green for long here.
Yeah, the short track, any of these short tracks tends to take that mantra that you're thinking of, and it does kind of throw it out the window. Look at this battle right here for the 6th position. You got Larkamp, Kinsella, Goodman. Is that Shawan hanging on back there? Look at this. Larkamp going to the top, but he's going to lose 2 spots. Kinsella trying to go to the middle to go 3 wide, but now they're going to go into turn 3. And that's the beautiful part about Iowa right there that you can see. You've got so many different avenues to play with.
Yeah, Andrew's looking to get right through this pack so he can get some clear air, but he's racing really hard with Stephen Larkamp, and Michael Goodman kind of separates himself a little bit from him. Ooh, so close.
Arrow push.
A little bit of close. Oh, and Andrew's going to have to get off the gas, lose that spot to Tony Schoen. So it's just a seesaw battle here. On the bottom is Ron Hacker kind of getting into the mix here right behind them. He's trying to go by Brian Greenlee as well.
And you're talking about Larkamp up to 7th. If you're wondering where his rival is in the rookie standings, well, he's back a little bit farther back there, running Justin Weaver, running right behind Pierre Nightingale in 13th.
Oh, now something else. These guys are dealing with the wounded car there. Everybody seems to be getting by just fine now.
Yeah, he's doing a good job staying up high, giving them the low line. Michael Goodman separated himself. He is in 6th, started 3rd, so he's trying to get himself back up into that podium position. Jordan Zaldo is his next target, who's kind of faded a little bit in his last couple of laps. Kind of lost sight of Christopher.
Boys, all the racing is back here in the mid-pack because Harrington's opened up a 1.5 seconds on Guerin, who's got about a 2nd on Limkeman. They've spread out in the top 5.
Yeah, we got a good battle. That battle we were watching earlier between Schoen, Larkamp. Here comes Kinsella trying to go right through the middle possibly. He's been looking at that middle lane quite a bit. I think he's just trying to get some clean air on that front wing, but this has been a really, really good battle to watch.
Next battle behind that is the battle with Weaver and Nightingale. They're side by side back there.
That's the Moby Dickie's car of Justin Weaver. Down there in 14th behind Isaiah Cousin Dupree.
Kinsella gets by Larkamp too. That was He's had to work him over just a little bit. Alarcant fade back, and Greenlee hanging out there in the top 10.
Yeah, going back a little bit to Adam Blocker, he has not made much movement up towards the front. So at this point, Andrew Kinsella is getting the best of him as he's running up in 8th position. As Adam's about to get passed by Chris Lanini. I don't know if Adam's blocking some damage. Look like his front wing might have a little bit of damage, so might be suffering a little bit. I don't know if that's just on my computer.
I'm seeing it there on the broadcast screen too. It looks like the on the left winglet, it's kind of bent up like a curly mustache.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a little bit of damage. That might be the reason why he's just kind of stuck there in 20th position.
Well, and the other thing too is if he got caught up and he got hit, part of that they could have some suspension damage. That is just it takes. It happened to me at Richmond. I had some suspension damage. I had about a minute of damage to fix, and the car drove absolutely awful until it all got fixed. So he might just be riding right now, trying to pick off some caution.
We look at the battle for 5th position. George Anzaldo. Goodman behind him and Schauent.
The gap that Connor has opened up on Dan Guerin is quite impressive.
That's going to be very short-lived as Connor's catching up to the back of the pack, though. He's going to get in that dirty air, and he's going to have to be the one that's going to make all the decisions on where to go. And it would not surprise me to see Guerin catch him right back up in a heartbeat.
Go ahead.
I'd like to give a little love to the driver in 12th position. This is Isaiah Dupree. This is a legitimate pickup here. He started in 33rd. He's racing in 12th. He's on the same pit strategy as everybody around him. It's a good run from Isaiah.
Yeah, that's a huge run from 33rd to 12th. And he's got a little bit of a battle behind him with Dustin Wardlow trying to keep sneaking on the inside, but like you said there, Brian, I think that high line's where you want to be, especially now we're working basically lap 37 of these tires. I don't see many people trying to get a run on the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom is just not where it's going to be unless you've got the clean air, like Connor might be having. Well, now he's cut it back in pack. But if you've got that clean air, you can make it work. But once you get into that dirty air and you kind of get stuck up behind people, that's where you're going to want to go. And unfortunately for James, he is announced he will be pitting. Which will, now you got to hope for the other side of that because he's going to lose at least 2 laps, probably 3.
Everybody's kind of separated out and minding their P's and Q's out there, so we might go a long run here. It might work out for him if those other guys have to pin under green. He'll make those laps back up.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. You got a hornet's nest battle for 6. Schauent has it. Kinsella, Goodman, they want it, but they're trying to decide 7th between themselves. Yeah, Goodman, you might as well call Goodman catfish because I don't think that car has left the bottom at all night.
He was up to 6th for a while there, so he's lost some position. And George Anzaldo is kind of right there in front of this group.
Let's go ahead and
Dan Guerin's gotten right on the back of Connor Harrington, like you said there, Brian. Lap traffic helping him out.
No. It's kind of like a dog chasing a car in this situation. Now you got there. Now what? So now you see Connor just takes that kind of, for lack of a better word, that real lazy entry into turn 3. Takes that into the corner because Dan's got to ride that bottom and hope for the best. But when you see Connor here, watch this in turn 3. Connor's going to take that real lazy entry and just give not enough air to the nose of Dan and just lets him pull right back away.
Yeah, I think Dan just kind of keep working him over, and as they catch up to some lap traffic here, try to run a pick play, basically.
The guys that are coming up on are Samuel Ryman, Mark Cohn, and then Ed King Tutwiler.
It's a good battle here as Dan keeps going to the bottom, but he can't quite get there. And like you said, Connor keeps kind of pinching him down just enough to where he's got to get off the gas and lose some of that front aero. And but Dan's working him over pretty good.
Ryan, just a pit bull at the chomping. Just come on, just trying to get some room because he knows if he goes up top, you know, the guy in front of you can just block that off. But watching this paddle though is really intense. Trying it again, maybe getting a good run out of turn 2, side by side. Nope, not quite. Good. Dan's going to try it in turn 3. Give him just a little bit of air, and there he goes, getting the run off of the corner. Side by side, down to the line, going down back into the turn 1 area.
And you see Connor got washed up a little bit. We got a lap car behind them who's got some fresher tires.
Yeah. That's Tyler Graff in the and give a shout out to Tyler Graff. That is a Dan Weldon Memorial paint scheme on the body of that 26 machine. And Dan Weldon, unfortunately, lost his life in the series that this is named after. You know, and that was just a couple days ago that anniversary was that anniversary came up. But shout out to Tyler, a heck of a designer on the iRacing service.
Tyler feeling really happy with those fresh rubber. He goes around Guerin, and now he's going to get Harrington. What surprises me is how long it's taking Harrington to get Sam Ryman.
It's the clean air versus dirty air. Sam can kind of run his lane. I mean, he doesn't have to yield. There's nothing in the sporting code about that. Sam's running his line, and unfortunately, it just happens to conflict with where Connor's trying to run. Tyler there, he kind of reminded me like, when you were a kid and you went over to your friend's house, but then the parents started arguing and you just started to kind of like, okay, I'm just going to go through this way. Thank you. Using those fresh tires there.
So now Harrington gets them, but honestly, we're getting real close to green flag stops. These guys are on 52 laps. And there comes Daigle.
Windows there. Yep. There's Pierre.
Yeah, we're right on that 50-lap number. We're watching a battle there real quick between George Zanzotto, Stephen Larkamp, all over the back of them. But the passes are tough to get as there's really only one line you want to run, and that's that high line. Seeing Dan trying to get around Connor, and he just can't quite get it done. He's been close, but he can't quite finish the job. Green flag pit stop should be coming up, so this will be interesting to see these leaders come in. Is it tough to get out on cold tires, Brian?
Yep.
Yeah, I figured it with this type of track tap coming out of the pits on cold tires, those opening laps got to be pretty tricky. And here they come.
It's a very it's a very sketchy about lap because you got to come off, you got to not spin out on the apron, and then you got to get wound up to speed and then get going again. It's nerve-wracking.
Well, this is going to be Dan Guerin's moment here if he can get out of that pit box, get around Connor, and then start blocking him, taking the air off his wing as they stop. Lose the tail.
Oh, no, there's someone spun out right there on the exit. It's a pink car. Jack Bogan.
It is Chris Stouffer.
Oh, Dan spun coming out of the pits.
No.
He was right behind him and
spun. Watch out, boy. But I don't think he hit the wall.
No, I don't think he did too either, but he had to back up, lost a lot of track position. And he comes out, and it looks like right here as he goes to accelerate, and there he goes.
Yep, this is what I was talking about. It is so sketchy on cold tires trying to go through there. You saw on the telemetry there, he was in first gear. I was practicing in second gear, and I was still spinning out.
So Dan's going to have to do a little bit of work as that puts him back into the field a little bit. Justin Weaver comes in. Nice clean stop.
Still waiting for some drivers to make their stop. Weaver just did his.
Good cycle out for Krahula.
That's it for, yeah, it's.
Caution is out. Put it out. It was Bobby
Vikas.
Yeah,
Put it in the wall and then
looked like he hit that bump right there. Just got a little loose and couldn't save it.
We're right on board with our leader, or well, leader before the stops, but I guess he's our leader again.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a big moment for him as he comes around and he has to make a pretty strong evasive action to the inside lane.
So how does it all sort out? Well, Harrington's now out there in front with Garen's spin. Where did Garen actually? Garen's ended up down in 10th position. You know, the 11th there. And then the question is, where did James Krahula fare? Well, in 5th.
Actually,
But
cycled
again,
up to
he's on 20.
third.
He's on, yeah, but he's on really old tires now.
Yeah, that he needed that one to go probably another 15, 20 laps, and that one,
He's
he would
gonna
have been
come
looking
in.
like a genius. But fortunately, with the way it's sitting, you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to take that pit stop. It was kind of a free pit stop for him to get back on the same cycle as everybody.
But with 23 cars on the lead lap, he's going to be well down the order. Well, with the lights still on the pace car, they're going to go around a few more times. Why don't we take this chance, take another quick break? We'll be back in a few. Don't go far.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
This is the Global Sim Racing Channel coming your way via the iRacing Esports Network. You want to know what racetrack we're on? Well, just take a look at that car right there. Spin that around in some butter. That's Ed Tutwiler. We are indeed at Iowa.
Would you say he's currently stalking the position ahead of him?
Oh, my goodness.
He's ready to pop?
Another kernel of wisdom from you. All right, our leader is Connor Harrington. We are going green. He is working lap 104. Now it's 105. He's got a couple lap cars between him and the man who's chasing him. Lewin is in 24th. The corn cob machine of Ed Tutwiler's in 25th. Limpkeman trying to go below Tutwiler. He's in second.
Look just behind him, Justin Weaver in that Moby Dickey's machine. Weaver's getting the hunt of it, getting that sniff of up there. He's going to try getting that low line, trying to. Wow, that whole sentence was hard. Trying to get the low line going on Limpkeman, working it down there in turns 3 and 4. Just not quite enough momentum to get it done off the corner.
Yeah, Justin Weaver doing a great job coming from 16th to 3rd, working that Rookie of the Year standings there as well. So he's really going to want to get by Brandon, and runs right up behind him on the low side here as they go around some lap cars. Everybody's got fresh tires, so everybody's looking pretty racy right behind them. Tony's showing. And right behind there, too, I see Andrew Kinsella has moved themselves back up into the 6th position from starting 17th.
It's been on lap 1.
Yeah, it's been on lap 1 and didn't really hit anything, and yellow flag came out, fortunately for him, but he's done a good job. Adam Blocker, don't need to go to him, but I noticed he fixed his front wing back in 18th position, so there's his championship ride. He's got a lot of work to do.
Well, and just off the front of that, you may have seen it when we were going off the nose cam, but Weaver completed the pass on Limpkeman. So now Weaver is going to set off and try to make a run at Connor Harrington.
And look at the ground that he has gained on Harrington. That Moby Dickey's machine is on rails right now.
Yeah, well, Connor's doing a lot of work just running, weaving back and forth, and I think that's kind of slowing him down a little bit at the minute, allowing Justin Weaver just to run some clean laps, stay in the draft, and he's going to run that high line here, keep that momentum. But, yeah, absolutely.
Well, because you can really sniff the draft from, in this car, probably a good second back is when you can start feeling that pull going down the front stretch. And just behind Weaver, there you see a battle for 3rd, Shawan and Limpkeman, side by side down there into the turn 3 area. And that Shawan's going to push up a little bit. Limpkeman's going to go up there and try and scare the wall, but Limpkeman stays where he's at, still side by side. They're going to try and scare each other some more.
Yeah, man, Tony Schoen's not giving any quarter to Brandon, just keep pushing him up into the gray. He's got that position taken. That's brought Andrew into play here for that 4th position. But here comes Brandon on the inside now, trying to return that favor, trying to push him up. Oh, so close.
Too much push. Now that's going to hurt him, and that's going to send him back to Kinsella. That's all his 2 lap cars back there.
And
no, Johnson's not a lap.
No, Scott Johnson.
And, Johnson and Beard have similar colored cars, and it was messing with me earlier, too.
Yeah, here goes Andrew. He's trying to make the wide line around Brandon Limpkeman work, and he does. Clears him off of turn 4, so that's going to move Andrew up into 4th position. So great job for him. Right behind him, we got Brandon Limpkeman. I don't know why I keep putting an R in there. Limpkeman is battling for 5th and trying to hold off Scott Johnson. He's got a whole bunch of drivers jumping in the blender with him behind him.
Up front, the top 2 begin to check out, Harrington and Weaver. They got around Bart Workman. They put a little distance between Tony Shawan.
Yeah, the top 4 all separated out. The battle is really for Brandt between Brandt, 5th place, and back.
Yeah, it's a mess back there where you're watching. They're doing a good job of keeping it clean. One of the drivers, Stefan Larkamp, in 14th. You talk about Weaver racing in 2nd. That rookie championship keeps changing. Larkamp is in just a pinata full of bees right now. He's got Dustin Wardlow below him. The car chasing him is Isaiah Dupree. Dupree's been fast all race. That's Brian Greenlee that Larkamp's trying to get around. He's got a check up there. Oh, my goodness.
We got Dan Guerin trying to make up for his mistake out of the pit lane. He's battling with George Anzaldo for that 8th position, trying to run that low line, but George is not giving him any quarter, and that checks him out, bringing Michael Goodman up to challenge him for that 9th position.
Kind of stole my thunder there, Richie. I was looking for Dan, and I noticed he gained a couple spots, and I was kind of waiting for the next clearing, and then you kind of took that away. But there you see Dan still working George as teammates for Synergy Motorsports there side by side. So, come on, man, come here, break. Dan has got places to go.
George has been doing a great job. He's been up in that top 10 the whole race long, so he's more than welcome to hold on to the outside line, make Dan work for it. It was his mistake that brought him back there.
That really is kind of the best battle of the top 10. You know, Connor has about a second and a half over Weaver, who has about 2 seconds over Showen. So the top 3 are all spaced out nice and evenly until they start catching up to the back half of the field. And where else we got going on?
Talking big picture, you got Andrew Kinsella trying to pick up ground on Blocker in the points. Kinsella racing 4th right now.
Yeah, Adam's only up to 15th where he started, but we did get his car fixed, so he's trying to battle Steven Larkamp, our Rookie of the Year battler there for the lead in those standings. Those guys working 14th and 15th position. Adam's struggling a little bit this race. Didn't qualify well. He usually runs a lot farther up in the front, so he's struggling at Iowa.
Taking a peek at 3rd here is, I believe Kinsella's on the move. He's coming. He's got Showen in his sights. But again, not sure if he's going to be able to do anything with him. He's going to take it down low.
Yeah, it did look like a little contact with Larkamp, and he's kind of right in front of this big battle behind him. There's a replay as he comes into turns 3 and washes up, and yeah, just a little bit of contact. Looked like maybe a little net code, a little contact though with the corn car there. That Ted Weiler.
Let's go back up to that 3rd position. Showen doing his very best to hold him off, and that is Kinsella. Kinsella up 13 spots. It's a long time before they get to any lap traffic. Harrington's got a solo driver of Bart Workman he should be able to take care of. Well, pretty quick, but that's what I thought when he got behind Ryman last time and he had a hard time doing it.
Yeah, everybody's kind of sorting themselves out. This battle between 3rd place is still going on, but as we've seen in the past, it's once these tires get to about lap 34, 35 where we're at, they can't quite make that pass down low. He can't make it stick. So Andrew's going to keep working him over, but he can't quite get the move done. Everybody else kind of playing nice with each other. Do have a battle here with Pierre Daigle and Dan Guerin now trying to go down to the bottom of him for 7th position, trying to make up those spots. But once again, just can't quite get the job as he goes down. He just can't keep that momentum. So he's going to keep working this. I think Dan's going to be up to the front before the end of this.
This Daigle and Guerin battle is going on right behind our hard charger of Scott Johnson, who's racing in 6th. What a good run from him. Started in 29th position. That's legitimate. Boy, Guerin tries one more time there. So there you're looking at Johnson right behind him. You can see Guerin continuing to try to work that bottom line. Think maybe might have him this time.
Side by side down into turn 3. Dan on the bottom, just where he likes to be. Trying to get that spot going, but Pierre's going to fight back on the outside, and Dan's going to fall back in line down, going into turn 1 once again. But there you see it, bringing it right down there. Left side tires right to that yellow line. Back out to the fence, and he's going to bring it right back down here into turn 3 again. Not going to probably have enough momentum this time. And he's going to stay closer. So you can see that's kind of how Dan, he kind of chips away at it just a little bit and by a little bit. So yeah, maybe that time he's not going to get that run down into turn 1 that he needs. But in about 5 or so laps, he probably will get that run that he needs.
Let's go to 3rd real quick. Did it finally happen? He finally got him. And that's Kinsella. Gets around Tony Showen. He worked him and he worked him and he worked him. He was able to do what Dan Guerin could not.
Yeah, you see on this replay, they come off this corner and they get super close. Whoa, right there. But squeezes him up just enough. Makes him take that high entry into turn 1 and is able to complete the pass.
3.3 seconds between Weaver in 2nd and Kinsella, who has clear track in front of him in 3rd. We'll watch that interval.
Yeah, Dan Guerin side by side with Pierre. going into, he clips the yellow line just a little bit and washes him up. He's going to have to get off the gas. So I thought he was going to get that pass done, but he's working him hard. They come up some lap traffic, so now they're going to have to go 3 wide down the front stretch maybe.
Bart Workman does a good job of getting out of the way. Brian, I don't want you to name any names, but are there some drivers when you're coming up behind them and you say, no problem, this guy knows what he's doing, and there's other ones you go, oh my goodness, I'm behind this guy now.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's like real racing all the time.
Yeah, in the real car and a virtual car, you keep a long list in your mind, and you kind of know, what you can do around certain people.
Yeah, you keep a remember of people who screwed you over too, so you never forget. Yeah, here we go. He's going to dive it down deep. He's going to come up.
Job. Nope.
Ooh, almost. Pierre's doing a great job holding that outside line, and I'm sure Dan's getting a little bit frustrated because he's got the faster car. I think he just can't quite get the pass done.
Stay kind of calm, cool, and collected. And that's really a strong suit of his. He can try the same thing over and over again. It really doesn't seem to break his concentration when it doesn't work. There he goes. Gets him down there. Come back up, Dan. Oh, well, that worked out perfect. He finally gets clear, and then Pierre pits.
Yeah, I saw him call it out. He's on lap 52, so everybody's working lap 50, 47-ish. So we're going to probably see some of these guys come in.
And the long play here is not a terrible idea because think about it. If you go pit under green flag conditions, Tyler Graff just pitted a couple laps ago. He is 3 laps down. So you try and stretch every ounce of fuel out of this tank. Because if you can run it 1 lap longer, that might be the lap that someone makes a mistake coming off or getting onto pit road, and they slide up and bring out a caution, and all of a sudden, you're in the catbird seat.
Let's look back at 11th position. That's Greenlee being stalked by Adam Blocker, our points leader. They go around Pierre Degla just coming out of pit lane. Both these drivers are going to be coming in soon. Limpcom in pits.
Connor Harrington goes around one more time. He's working lap 54. We had some yellow in there, obviously, but he's stretching it out, like you said, Brian.
And I just want to talk about Justin Weaver and Kinsella. Remember, that was 3 seconds a while ago. That gap is now down to almost a half second. Yeah, their pit stop's coming. But Kinsella is flying out there. A name to remember. Harrington coming in.
Yep, here comes the leader. Justin Weaver goes by. And here comes Kinsella right behind him.
Raise your glasses at Moby Dickey. Your man is out in front for a while. That's Justin Weaver.
This
and he's going to go around one more time.
His magnificent beard flapping in the wind.
Oh, we got a spin. Jack Bogan spun it. He's going to be off the racing line. I don't think it's going to bring out the yellow. Yeah. No, he actually blinked away, so he might actually, with all the excitement that Jack has had this race, he might have hit the incident cap.
Got a clean stop by Connor Harrington.
Weaver gets into it as he's trying to pit. Got into it with Chris Stouffer. He was trying to cut in front of Chris and mistimed it.
Yeah, it's a tough spot trying to get into that pit lane at full throttle and just kind of, just mistimed it a little bit.
Oh, man.
He probably should have just waited a little bit and let him blend back up onto the track, but that's going to be the end of the Moby Dickey's car here for tonight. Yeah, he probably should have just lifted and let the other car drift up, and he might have lost a tenth or a second or two, but at least this wouldn't have happened. And that's going to bring out the yellow flag here. A lot of people have pitted and some have not.
Scott Johnson, Mark Cohen. Let me see if I have this right. Am I looking at this right? Are those the Make sure I have my timing and scoring working right here. Scott Johnson has been out there for 56 laps. He's your leader.
Yeah, he may have taken advantage of that opportunity right there.
That's a perfect example. You said, Brian, just kind of squeeze it out, and then all of a sudden something happens and changes the whole face of the race.
He just talked about it. Brian Yosek just talked about it exactly. So Johnson, Goodman, Blocker, Krahula, of course, James Krahula, Chris Lanini, Samuel Ryman, and Mark Cohn. They have not pitted, and they're on the lead lap. So let me get this right. They should be able to come in and they'll get out before the other guys cycle around, right? They should still be at the front.
Should be. We're going to have to figure this one out, so.
Yeah, we'll probably have
some
to let
of those
them cycle around.
Yeah, some of them should have cycled out to at least one down. Yeah, you're going to have about 8 cars on the lead lap right there.
Put a lot of good cars down a lap. Justin Weaver, obviously he's out, but Stephen Larkamp's a lap down. Connor Harrington's a lap down. So this will be interesting. Still have a long ways to go. We're only on lap 156 of 229, so there's going to be one more pit stop involved.
But your leader is Scott Johnson. He's out. Right behind him on the track is Michael Goodman. And Adam Blocker is third.
Now, Scott Johnson has to pit.
No, he just made a stop. He just came in. He ran that thing really long.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, he's going to be our leader, 29th to 1st. Michael Goodman right behind him. He's done a good job. Started third, but fell back a little bit. Made his way back up to second. Adam Blocker, look at that. Everything works out for him. And it's going to put him back to third spot. And unfortunately, Andrew got caught out. He's listed as 2 laps down at the moment.
All right. Well, Brian, I'd like to thank you for coming in and sitting with us for this one. It was really helpful. We appreciate it. Good luck. We'll follow you down the way. Let's see if we can get that HPP car into a victory lane before the season's out.
That's going to be the goal. We got a couple more good ones coming up for us, and see if we can't put her in victory lane and not on the wrecker for a change here recently. So have a good race, everybody. Have fun, and we'll catch you all down the road.
Brian Yosek, thanks a lot. Not his best day, but his loss was our gain here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Good to have him come in with us. So the timing and scoring continues to update, and it continues to get more bizarre. I believe we have 5 cars on the lead lap. Now, the question is, some cars might get the wave around, but it really doesn't matter. There are legitimately 5 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, and my pit standings shows that James and Chris Lanini have not pitted, so that they're going to need to pit, but they're going to be on the lead lap, so it won't matter. Wow, this really mixes everything up. So we've been talking about basically Connor Harrington, Dan Guerin, Andrew Kinsella, and now they're all lapped down. Everybody's going to be on the same fuel strategy, so this is going to be a straight-up fight.
And it gets a little more interesting. Samuel Ryman is in 6th. He has 1 lap down and immediately behind the top 5 cars. But then it starts to shake up a little bit. Mark Cohn is in 7th, 1 lap down.
Now we'll have to wait here until they go green to see where we'll really shake out. But the way I'm showing is top 5 cars on the lead lap was, like you said, Samuel Ryan, first car a lap down in 6th position. Mark Cohen in 7th, Stephen Larkamp in 8th, Tony Schoen in 9th, and Dan Guerin in 10th.
So who's fast enough to unlap themselves in real time? Maybe Dan Guerin. Dan Guerin is in 10th. Boy, that's a lot of work to do. He's got to get around Schoen, then the lap cars of Hacker and Tutwiler. Oh, I think it's impossible for him to get there.
Well, I think what he needs, he's got to be fairly aggressive, but he needs just get up a couple spots and then need another yellow, and then make a couple more spots, and then maybe at that point, I don't think he can do it all in one go.
So let's talk a little bit about Scott Johnson. He qualified in 29th. How fast was his qualifying lap? Well, it was a 16.7. Now, the man behind him, Michael Goodman, qualified third, 16.6. Doesn't seem like much, but when lap times are that fast, 10th of a second, pretty big. Goodman, the biggest name, the best qualifier out of all those guys, as it's time to go racing again. Scott Johnson working lap 161.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Good start. He's got Michael Goodman right behind him. Adam Blocker's looking to the outside of Michael Goodman. Adam Blocker's was struggling earlier, but now he's, washed up a little bit. That's going to leave the door open for James Krahula. So these are our leaders running all together, and this is kind of what basically Dan Guerra needs these guys to hold each other up so he can get up there. And as Michael Goodman goes to the lead underneath him, ooh, Scott Johnson washes up high.
Now going underneath as Johnson loses momentum. Looking underneath is the blue car. That's James Krahula. And it is pink. Of course it's pink because it's October. Adam Blocker in a blue car underneath Michael Goodman.
Yeah, Adam Blocker's looking to take that second position, and he's going to get it. Man, I can't believe Adam Blocker could possibly be in the lead after earlier on he was struggling down there in that 15th to 20th position. This has all worked out really good for him. And here he goes. He's going to sneak onto the inside going into turns 3. And it looks like he's got the pass done. And a new leader on the track, Adam Blocker.
These guys have got to be careful as they work around the lap car of Chris Stouffer just coming out of pit lane. They've got to be careful because there are some big names that are still close enough to strike. Guerin has worked his way up to 8th position. Harrington is back there in 11th spot.
Yep, got another fast car between Dan Guerin and Tony Schoen. He's been up there all day long. Even George Gonzalo has had a really strong run. He's sitting in that 10th position. Connor Harrington coming up right behind him. So we do have some fast guys trying to make their way back through the field. Andrew Kinsella's stuck back there. He's 2 laps down. He's the first car 2 laps down, so he's really in trouble here. As his main rival, Adam Blocker, is in the lead. Be a good night for our rookie standings here. Steven Larkamp not running too good at 16th, but his main rival is out of the race at the moment.
As Weaver crashed while leading. Oh, that's a painful one. There's Stefan Larkamp right there, the Pennsylvania student. Your leader, Adam Blocker, Krahula. Go ahead, Richie.
No, I was just going to say, these guys are battling hard. I was going to say Michael Goodman and Scott Johnson. Michael Goodman was trying to get by Scott, but didn't quite get it done.
Aaron up to 7th as he worked his way around Mark Cohn.
Yep, next one on the ballot for him is going to be Samuel Ryman, and he is right behind him. So Dan Garrett has a good chance of doing this. I think if he can get around Samuel, he has a good chance. He's got a fast car. He's faster than the guys in front of him, put it that way. But he's going to need a little help.
Well, when he gets around Ryman, then there's really no more lap cars in front of him that are any problem. The only lap car is Andrew Kinsella, and Kinsella can hold his own out there. So we look at this battle as Ryman is going to fight for this spot. Sam, hang in there. Guerin gets a run down the backstretch. Should be able to finish this job on Sam. Sam surrenders. Move Dandy Dan up into 6th.
Yeah, Dan just sent it into turn 3 there. Get that pass done. And next one on his list is going to be Chris Lanini, although he's a lap down to them, but he's got to make his way through here.
Oh!
Oh, no!
It is Shawan is loose. Shawan gets cartwheeling, pinwheeling down. George and Zaldo involved in it. Because they were off the racing line. This all started from a little tap from the Candyman. Yes, he works with sweetness, but that one was kind of bittersweet.
Oh, yeah, that was too bad. There are two good cars out of the race, and no yellow flag as they are both on the inside of the track, so we stay green. There's a replay.
Wardlow gets tapped from, Shawan gets tapped, and then he gets down into the other car.
Yeah, it looked like George had to check up, and Dustin didn't. Kind of ran into the back of him, and that just ended the race for George and Tony.
Shawan and Zaldo out of the race, and as we talked about, they spun off the racing line. No yellow flag. Blocker beginning to open it up now on Krahula.
Yeah, his last lap was a 16.9 to Krahula's 17.2, so Adam's got some clear track in front of him and behind him. I still can't believe that Adam's in the lead, so just the way things work out, never give up.
Let's go to fifth. This is Chris Lanini in that fluorescent blue machine. He is pinned behind Bart Workman, and that's going to let Dan Guerin get another spot. Guerin up to sixth.
Yeah, Dan Guerin's stuck in sixth, but he's unlapping himself to Chris Lanini, so he's got to get up to. He's basically got 4 more cars in front of him.
That's right.
That he needs to get in front so he can get that lap back.
The drivers he was going around before, so he's picking up spots, were all the cars that were on 1 lap down that were ahead of him. He's ran out of those now. Guerin is now the leader of all the cars 1 lap down. So who's in front of him? Goodman. Kinsella's out there, but of course Kinsella's 2 lap down. Johnson has fallen back to 3rd. Boy, but it's going to be hard to get to Adam Blocker. Remember, Blocker is your points leader. He knows how to race a car.
Yeah, and this is what I said. Dan's going to need some help. He's going to need a yellow flag now, get everybody back together, and then try again.
As we race with 46 to go, I'm thinking if a yellow flag comes out now, everybody comes in for that final stop. There will be 1 more stop from everybody.
Yeah, if yellow comes out now, you got to stop because then you can make it to the end. But either way, everybody's going to have to stop at least 1 more time. Man, Adam Blocker's really distancing himself. He's running some pretty quick lap times compared to, he's a couple tenths a lap, 3/10 of a lap faster than Krahula. Krahula's doing a great job hanging on to that 2nd spot, and he's got some space between him and Scott Johnson. He's really got basically Andrew Kinsella, who's not on the same lap, fighting with him, and then Michael Goodman right there behind Andrew.
Well, I'm thinking if I'm one of these cars that are 1 lap down and the yellow comes out, I'm going to stay out and get my lap back and then hope for another yellow so I can come in and make my stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of looking at it, although we're getting right near the end of that cycle.
Boy, we sure are. It would have to be a real quick yellow. All right, let's go to Blocker now because he's picked up, he's come up behind some lap traffic. He's got to work around Chris Stouffer. Stouffer should be no problem because that car is just really not feeling well. But there's a mess in front of our leader. That's Larkamp in that blue and yellow machine up there. Unless it's pink. I think it is blue. Larkamp, look at this. The corn on the cob machine, that's Tutwiler. The car on top is bluing. Blocker's got 2.2 seconds back to Krahula. This is James's opportunity to make up some ground.
Yeah, I don't think James has even though he's running fast laps, I don't think he has the car to get up and pass Adam. Adam's just kind of stuck in traffic, but eventually James is going to have to go through that traffic himself.
Down to 1.5 seconds now as there is no place for Adam to put the car. And finally, the corn on the cob machine gets out of the way. Tutwiler's going to let Blocker have someplace to put it. But now he's got Stefan Larkamp, and it doesn't get any easier because Robert Lewin is up there. Ryan Greenlee in 13th.
And all these guys are racing for their own position, so I mean, he's going to have to earn it to get. These guys don't have to let him by.
Down to 0.8 of a second now between Blocker and Krahula. But like Richie said, Krahula now does have a couple cars to get around.
Yeah, I mean, he's closed up the gap, and now he's got to do his own work to get around these cars that Adam's going through right now.
Whoa, and he almost got a little taste of the corn. As Tutwiler almost got into Krahula. Krahula gets that done. That was almost cream corn. Stouffer getting out of the way again.
Yeah, I think he's pitting, so just saw that. I think he's going to pit. So most of these guys are on lap 40, 41 of their fuel run. So getting closer to the end of this. This is going to be a key moment of the race, I believe.
Krahula is there now. He can smell the exhaust from Blocker's Dodger Blue Machine. That is Krahula. That is Blocker. And right behind him, Krahula in the pink car. He's got blue into the top side. Blocker able to get underneath Greenlee. And that is Kinsella.
Yeah, he's going to get one lap back here.
Through the middle.
Tries to get up to Adam Blocker. But he is 2 laps down, so he's got a long ways to go. He's just trying to salvage anything he can. He's all alone he's the first car 2 laps down, so there's really, without a wreck, there's really not any more positions he's going to be able to make up.
Kinsella down low, really bothering James Krahula. Krahula has places to go, but he is stuck. He's going to try to go underneath Greenlee. Greenlee gives him room, but he loses all of his momentum. And now the interval, which was ever so close with a couple car lengths, is now 2 seconds from Krahula up to the lead. Hey, but wait a minute. Don't forget about the man who started leading this thing when we went green. That is Scott Johnson.
Yeah,
he's now looking at Krahula.
Yeah, he faded a little bit, but he's found his groove as he's closed right on the back of James Krahula, running a solid third after starting 29. So he's done a great job, and still only 5 cars on the lead lap. So these 5 guys are pretty much in a good position to have a great points haul for tonight.
Guerin remains obviously in 6th position, leading all the cars who are 1 lap down. He has not been able to make up any ground on the guys he's been chasing. He's got Goodman, who races 4th on the lead lap.
Yeah, he has closed up on Goodman, but it's kind of stalled out a little bit. He just needs yellows. He's not going to be able to do it on his own.
They're on a 49-lap stint. The pits are coming anytime.
Yeah, I was going to say, these guys have got to be gutted. Guerin and Hunt Harrington, they had this race covered, and just the way it falls sometimes. Connor Harrington stuck in 9th position. He is 1 lap down, but he's got a few people in front of him. He can make up some spots if he puts his head down here. Once again, we do have those pit stops coming out. We know Connor has a fast car, so he should be able to get at least back up to where Dan is.
And right now, I think Blocker and these guys who are leading, they're doing the same thing that Brian Yazek talked about. They can't afford to come in early. They've got to run it till it dries, just in case the yellow comes on that 1 lap after they've made their stop.
Yeah, we've already seen it happen. That's what gifted these guys this position. So, yep, going to run it right to that very last moment. And then take that pit stop. Andrew Kinsella going around, getting 1 lap back from Adam. And
I think we got a pass for third here. I think Goodman's got a real chance of getting underneath Johnson going into 3 and 4. He's been looking at him. He's not going to have that momentum off, so the top line is faster.
So Adam Blocker working lap 54. You saw Kinsella pit. Yep, you saw the same thing I saw.
He's on the same stint as everybody else.
Adam's got a healthy 3.5 second lead over second place Scott Johnson. It's going to go around one more time. He's got to be coming in at any moment, but Johnson's coming in. Adam's staying out. Everybody's going to kind of hold their breath, and here comes Adam. Adam's coming in this lap.
He's got Larkamp in front of him. Krahula spins it. It looked like he was exiting pit lane. Right behind Andrew Kinsella. No yellow flag. Krahula was in a hurry because he was going to try to get around and see if he could undercut Blocker. Not going to happen. No yellow flag.
And he's coming back in because he's missing that front nose, so it's going to hurt his race there.
Blocker was able to come out ahead of Larkamp. Even though Larkamp was several laps down, Larkamp led him into pit lane. Blocker is out. He scored in second. I think that's wrong. I really think he's our leader. Oh, it's okay. We're still waiting for Goodman to make his stop, and what he's doing as we speak.
Yeah, he's coming out of his box right now. So here comes Adam right around the outside of him as he goes by. So it all kind of sorts out. So, still have 4 cars on the lead lap as James Krahula was taken out of that mix with that problem. He had to pit again, so that's going to move Dan Guerin. Pierre Daigle is in front of Dan Guerin, and so Dan Guerin's he can make one more position up here.
We got 14 laps to go. 4 cars on the lead lap. Blocker, Goodman, Johnson, and Chris Lanini. Johnson's qualified in 29th. Lanini in 23rd. Good points day for them, and they sit 3rd and 4th respectively. Heck, even Blocker, who qualified 15th, has got to be happy with this one. He's going to be surprised, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, because he really didn't have a car to run up. He wasn't up there. I mean, even Andrew Kinsella started back, but he worked his way up to the front. Adam had some problems with some damage, just kind of was stuck in that 15th position. And I was just thinking about how this just turned around so quickly for some of these guys, given Scott Johnson, Chris Lanini, great finishes here if they can keep going. We got a spin right behind Adam Blocker. It's going to be a caution.
Larkamp got into it with Brian Greenlee. Oh my goodness, that's exactly what Blocker did not want to see. Or Larkamp for that matter, or Greenlee for that matter.
Oh, it looks like he cut right in the front of Larkamp there.
Yep.
And Larkamp gets stuck in the wall.
Greenlee was well down to the inside, came up. You described it well. He comes right up in front of him.
Yeah, he just kind of just clips his wing and misjudged that a little bit. His spotter might have said he was clear. He just kind of moved up, and he wasn't clear.
This is bad news for Dan Guerin. He was not able to stay out there long enough to get that lap back. Good news, though, for these other guys. So it is Blocker in front. Now, right behind him is Pierre Nightingale, but he's a lap down. But I think the rules are with 10 to go, I think they're going to cycle out these lapped cars out of the procession. And I think it's going to bring Michael Goodman, the man who qualified inside of row 2, right on the gearbox of Adam Blocker.
Yeah, it's definitely something Adam probably didn't want to see. He was just kind of cruising along there, watching the laps count down. By the time you go to green, it's going to be probably like 5 laps to go, 6 laps to go. Michael Goodman definitely has a fast car, as he showed in qualifying and in the race. He's been running up there. And so this is going to be a battle to the end. Unfortunately for Steven Larkamp, he was looking for a really good points haul next to his competitor, Justin Weaver. So that was not how he wanted the end of the race.
Now, again, I could be wrong on this, but I think, do they wave the cars around or do they force the lap cars to back up? I don't think they wave them around. That wouldn't seem fair. Yeah, they must have to back up. Wouldn't be fair for, like, Degla and Guerin to get their lap back, so.
Yeah, I think they just pull over and let those guys go by.
This may take a little while to get this sorted out. 8 to go. So Blocker is up in front. Right behind him is Degla. He'll pull over to the left, I believe. Guerin will pull over. Wardlow will pull over, and that's going to let Goodman get up there right behind him. Bluen and Limpkeman will get out of the way, as will Hacker and Harrington. And that'll let Scott Johnson get up third in line. And right behind him, well, that's going to let the fourth place driver come as well. And of course, that is Chris Lanini.
All in all, it's been a great race. Kind of just sorted itself out, but with these those yellow flags falling when they were really mixed these up, I still can't believe we only have 4 cars on the lead lap, and it's not because the racing's been bad. It's just the way that yellows fell.
Yeah, and you got to think about Guerin and those guys who were wishing to get that yellow flag almost came. They would have had it to go a little bit farther than the leaders, but honestly, Blocker took it about as far as you could.
Yeah, Dan's got one position he can make up behind with Pierre, but same thing with Connor Harrington. Man, he led the most laps, was pretty dominant early on, and he's stuck back there in 8th position, 1 lap down.
You're watching the iRacing Esports Network and the Global Sim Racing Channel. Let me talk about one of our sponsors here. This is the final one. We got 2, and I'll get the third one. And, of course, it is HPP Simulations. Now, here's the deal. These guys, HPP, they are awarding a Formula Racing wheel valued at just under, get this, $1,500 to the season champion. SLI Pro Display, 12-position rotary for display. Momentary push buttons, 2-way toggle switches, rotary encoders and with tactile feedback, integrated paddle shifters, and a Hewlett-Packard 5710A dual-column gas chronometer with flame analysis detectors. HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. Visit hppsimulations.com to check it all out. HPP, designed to go fast, built to last. My dad used to say, it's better to be lucky than good, but if you have a choice, be both. That's kind of what's happened to Adam Blocker today, our points leader. It just has kind of fallen into his lap.
Yeah, we resorted out the field, like you said. Pierre Daigle, and here comes the pace car.
Pace car's in. The lights are off the pace car. And is indeed, they got it sorted out. It is Blocker, Goodman, Johnson, and Daigle.
I don't know what Michael Goodman was doing on that restart. He was way too far back, and it's given Adam a nice run here. Michael's now going to try to fight off Scott Johnson, but Michael's starting to close back in, so Adam's got a battle for the lead coming up.
4 to go. Goodman looking to the top, looking to the bottom. Hugging that tight line is Adam Blocker.
Everybody on fresh tires, fairly fresh tires, so that's not going to be an issue. We got Scott Johnson looking to make it 3 wide. Michael Goodman's looking very strong. He definitely has a strong car, qualifying 3rd. They go around a lap car there on the high side. Adam Blocker is going to commit to the inside lane all the way around the track. He's going to make Michael go the long way around.
Blocker hugging the inside like a tight pair of Fruit of the Looms. Goodman trying to fire away around. He's going to have to do it on the top side. Blocker says, turn on the reggae music. If you're going to pass me, you're going to have to do it high. Hey, here's a run, though, from Goodman. This is the last lap as they head down into 3 and 4. Goodman's going to try to do a little dipsy, a little up and under. No! Blocker gets the win. We'll look at it from above. Michael Goodman did all he could. He has to settle for second.
0.03 of a second there on that crossover. Fireworks are going off. Here's the replay. Michael Goodman does the crossover, gets a really good run on the draft, and he just needed about maybe 50 more yards, but there's the difference there, 0.03 of a second, 0.034 to be exact.
The Iowa 200 presented by Berkey Trucking goes to Adam Blocker. Michael Goodman gave it a run. Scott Johnson and Chris Lanini, the only other drivers to be on the lead lap. The racing is over here in Corn Country, but our broadcast is far from done. We are going to take a short break, but don't go far because we will come back for the Plasma Track Victory Lane post-race show where we'll run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel, streaming cyberspace into your place via the iRacing Esports Network. You're watching our coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, round number 18 from Iowa. The Iowa 200, presented by Berkey Trucking. Hey, if you're struggling to find that gift for the person that has everything, I've got the website for you, plasma-tracks.com. Not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophy, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. Words can't do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate the artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a plasma track wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Use the promo code LRS2018 to get 25% off your order. And here is 100% of the Iowa 200 presented by Berkey Trucking. Adam Blocker is your winner by 3/100ths of a second over Michael Goodman, who did everything he could to get that win, trying to make the move. Scott Johnson and Chris Lanini go third and fourth, and that rounds out all the cars on the lead lap. Dandy Dan Guerin, one of the fastest cars tonight, will have to settle for third. I guess he went best in class. Settle for fifth, as he is first of all the cars won last round. Pierre Nightingale in sixth. Brandon Limpcom in behind him. Another fast car. Our pole sitter, Connor Harrington, got caught out by that weird yellow flag. He has to settle for eighth. Samuel Ryman, 24th to 9th, the top 10 for him. Andrew Kinsella, oh my goodness, he was faster than the winner. He's faster than the guy he's trying to chase in the points race, but he comes home in 10th. Richie?
Yeah, coming home in 11th spot is Mark Cohn. Right behind him is Matthew Mercer, 12th. Dustin Wardlow coming in 13th. He's the first car 2 laps down. Behind him is Ron Hacker. Isaiah Dupree, 15th. Mitchell Moeller in 16th. Tyler Graff, 17th. And our Robert Bluen in 18th. Ed Tutwiler in the corn car coming home 19th. And Bart Workman in 20th.
Bad news for the man racing for the rookie championship, Stephen Larkham. He gets only 21st. The good news is the man he's fighting with even worse. Brian is not easy being Greenlee gets the double duck position. James Krahula, he had a weird strategy. It was going to work out for him until he spun it coming out of pit lane. Chris Stouffer is in 24th in the quarter century mark. George Anzaldo. Tony Schowen, Justin Weaver in the Moby Dickey's car. Yeah, there you have it. That's the other guy looking for that rookie win. Well, he's 27th. Jack Bogan, Bob Mikas go 28th and 29th. 30th is Big Joe Hasser. Now just round these out. Brian Beard, Scott Bolster, Brian Yazik. His loss was our gain as we had him in the booth for the first half of the race. Peter Edwins, Dylan McKenna, the 35 drivers that took the grid. Okay, let's see if we have anybody ready in the interview room. Oh my goodness, it is full as full can be. Let's go ahead and talk to our winner, and that's going to be Adam Blocker. Adam, sometimes things just fall your way.
Yeah, that race definitely didn't start the way I wanted because let's see what happened. I had a bad qualifying. Then I overshot my pit on the first. Oh, actually, no, back it up. There was a crash on pit in on like the first or second caution. I got rear-ended and I had to get a rear wing change, so that dropped me from like 10th to 25th. And then on the next green cycle, I was kind of hanging out and I was 20th. I was only 5 seconds ahead of the leader. And then on the pit cycle, I overshot pit in and nosed into the barrels slightly, only enough to get front wing damage. And then I replaced my front wing. The caution immediately came out. And then the next run, I hit Bogan when he glanced the wall, and I lost like half my front wing. So I was driving with like half a front wing for a big part of a stunt. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. But eventually, I got my car was fixed, and then I stayed out longer than most people and got lucky with the yellow cycle. But before that, I had gone from like 20th to 12th on that run because when my front wing was broken, oddly enough, I learned how to drive the bottom, and no one else was driving the bottom. So because my car just wouldn't stick on the top of the broken front wing for whatever reason. So yeah, so I was getting past people on the bottom, and I got lucky with the yellow. But from there, yeah, just finished it out. It was pretty nice.
What an eventful race for you. Well, let's get you out of here on this one. Let's go to the last lap when that yellow came out. You had it wrapped up, and then, oh my God, I'm going to have to work on it. You were not going to give up that inside. Goodman was trying everything he could.
Yeah. Well, Kinsella was telling me in TeamSpeak that Lanini had it because he pitted for tires. I'm like, well, we just pitted like 5 laps ago, and I'm low fuel, good tires. So once the tires got to temp up to the first lap, I knew from running in practice that in clean air that I could run the bottom without any problems on fresh tires. So that's what I did, and yeah, I was pretty confident I could hold him off, and I did. So yeah, it was fun. First short track win, so that's cool.
Well, congratulations for a short track win. There you go. Congratulations on the win here. You got a few on the ovals. You got a lot on the road courses. Way to go. Good luck down the road. Looking good for that championship.
Yeah. See you at New Hampshire soon.
There you have it. And that was Adam Blocker, our winner today. Richie, who are you going to talk to?
Let's bring in our second place finisher, Michael Goodman.
Bring Michael down here. There we go.
All right, Michael, you got a copy.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, we hear you loud and clear. Hey, man, great run. Great qualifying effort. I know you kind of fell back a little bit, but you made your way up and got a break with that yellow. But, man, that finish was close.
Yeah. At the start of the race, like you were mentioning, I was falling back. What happened was that obviously I got caught on the inside, and people passing me on the outside. But I love, in general, riding the low line. I just feel a little more control there. But as far as the pit stops went, I think this might have been the first race this year that that actually a caution fell my way as far as people pitting, and I was still on the lead lap because all year I've usually run the tank empty, and it would obviously, after I come out of the pit road, after the pit stop, then the caution would come out about 2 laps later. But this was a nice change for once. But it was a great race. Obviously, the last 5 or 6 laps, I knew it was going to be real tough, almost impossible to pass in that particular circumstance. But I'll take second, considering where my oval, the season on the ovals have been going this year. I'll definitely take that.
Yeah, I mean, that yellow flag worked out really good for you. Obviously, Connor and Dan were running fast, but it caught them out. But, man, like I said, that finish, I mean, you needed about 50 more yards. I mean, you're only 0.03 of a second. It was quite exciting on our end.
No, I was actually surprised on that last lap that he actually gave me the inside, but obviously he knew what he was doing, so it didn't really matter. But it would have been something if I would have been able to pull it off, but it is what it is, and I'll definitely take second coming out of Iowa, considering my retro race didn't go so good here. So, I felt like I feel good that the track gave me a little reward for my heartbreak with the retro cars.
Well, you should be happy with where you finished because it was a great run and you qualify well, so you deserve to be up there. So great job, and we will see you at the next one.
No, I appreciate it. I just want to just thank the gentleman that painted my car, iLiveries, Jawandi from iLiveries.com. He painted my ride. I think it looks beautiful. And, I want to thank all the admins, George, you guys, and everyone for putting on a first race show. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, and we'll see you at the next race. Good luck.
Thanks again.
Michael Goodman did everything he could do to get that win, couldn't do. We're going to wrap up with one more driver. I can't wait to talk to him. He had a taste of the lead for a while. He was up in front. He held on to it as long as he could. We're going to talk to Scotty Johnson. Oh, man, that was a fun one for you. And Scotty, this one more time. Do you have a copy? We'll let Scotty give him just a second. Scotty started in 29th position. He'd worked his way all the way up to found himself in the front, in the lead. He's working right there, working on getting his microphone working. He had a taste of the lead for a while before he fell back, but he was able to hang on to the lead lap and gets third. Scotty, one more try. Oh, that was too bad. I was really hoping to talk to him. All right, what we'll do then, we'll go ahead and bring in Chris Lanini, who finished fourth. A real similar story to Scott Johnson, though, as Chris started way back in 23rd position. Again, very sleepy on that qualifying. But, man, when it comes to the time to race, Chris Lanini's there. Chris, nice job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Although this time might have been a little bit less racing, a little bit more luck with how the cautions fell, but it was fun. I'm glad to get a good finish. It's my first top 5 of the season, so I'm happy.
Well, we talked about it in the broadcast, though. That's one of the things you benefit on. If you can run that stint a little bit longer, you put yourself in the position to get lucky.
Oh yeah, when that caution came out, I had 0.3 of a gallon of gas left. I was clutching it like crazy. Wasn't sure if I was going to make it back to my pit stall, but I did, and it worked out pretty well.
Tell me a little bit about the sponsor on your car. I love the paint scheme. Very simple, very bright, very easy to see.
Yeah, my sponsor is Vault Tech. It's a company from the Fallout game series. They're the ones that built the vault and all that, so it's a little bit of a fun play on things, but the colors are blue and yellow, so that's why you end up with the bright colors on it.
Easy to see. It's always fun to. It's easy for me to spot you on the broadcast for sure. Hey, congratulations on the podium here. Well, not just missing the podium, 4th place finish, but you put on quite a show. It was nice to see you up there.
Yeah, it was nice to talk to you guys. Take care.
Chris Lanini, always fun to watch race, and good to have him in the booth. Okay, that's going to do it here for us on the Global Sim Racing channel. If maybe somebody can escort Chris out of the booth there. I'd like to thank everybody here at First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. Richie?
Yeah, and Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Please use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your next order.
And when it's time to go sim racing, don't even look for it because nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulation. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com.
To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to the LionheartRacingSeries.com, click on 2018 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo.
On the screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of Eric Eckelm and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them.
The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 1 week, Wednesday, October 24th for the PSP Insurance Services 200 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway Oval. This should be a good one. GSRC via the iRacing Esports Network will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of all future broadcasts, you can find it all at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And if you're not already a GSRC YouTube channel subscriber, you can become one by simply visiting our YouTube channel and hitting that subscribe button.
Finally, on behalf of the crew, Richie, Amjed, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you on the iRacing Esports Network for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.